Rolling along here on this edition of Cowboys OT after the Cowboys take down the Los Angeles Chargers by a score of 20-17. Kyle Yeoman's with you. Post-game reaction now from SoFi Stadium. Let's hear from Mike McCarthy, head coach, from the podium.
Okay, David.
Yeah, Mike, can you just talk about what it says about this team? You don't score a touchdown since the first quarter, and the way this was uncharacteristic from ways you've won since you've been here.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, especially early in the year, I mean, every season's different, every team's different, and this team just has incredible work ethic and fight. And our season started last week, so we established play style, and it just felt that this week 2 opportunity was so unique. You're playing an uncommon opponent, and most of these players had not competed against each other. Obviously, teams don't compete against each other, so there's a lot that went into that. Obviously, Chargers coming off an excellent win last week at Washington. So, to come in here and win this game was important on a number of fronts for us. We needed it, and we needed the confidence that goes with this win. So, winning in this league so hard. So I'm just proud of the guys because they're doing everything the right way. So, I mean, we still have a lot of work to do. We're young in spots in the game. It was great to get our young guys in there, but I just love the communication and the bounce back. These football games always usually come down to the last couple series, and this one here came right down to the last play. So, excellent win for us. It'll be a great plane ride home. I really like their football team. Just competing against them, and the way they play, the talent, and so this is definitely one that we could build off of.
The strangest game-winning drive you've ever been associated with? Just the way the whole clock situation went, and
the clock situation just to the end was different. I've never had a clock go off the board on me like that. So, the second down, we're trying to chip away and just get a shorter field goal, and so we were going to attempt a third down play, and then kicking on fourth was the time frame we were in, 17 seconds, I think. So we were right on the threshold. We get into these 2-minute drills, you have thresholds, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 17 seconds. So we were right at the threshold there of our operation, and so we had a personnel. One of our players came off that shouldn't have come off, and just communication there. So then we were just going to run it down, but the clock I was watching went off the board. And then the clock Kellen had, I think he said a camera. He got blocked by a camera guy. So the communication was great from up top, and and obviously you want to call that timeout between 3 and 4 seconds. So.
Next calm on that final drive.
A 56-yard game-winning field goal for Greg Zuerlein, but it wasn't without a little extra sweat leading into the kick, and really some poor time management. Mike McCarthy just spoke to it there. But what did you think about the final scenarios and really special teams in general that came up big late?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't like it. I did not like the way that game came down to that last kick. I would have felt a lot better about their ability to go ahead and run another play, whether it be center it up, get it on whatever hash Greg likes, try to gain a couple more yards, make it easier on him, and then go out there and spike the ball to go ahead and get it down to that 3 or 4 seconds that you just heard him allude to. So I didn't like it, but guess what? When you got a Greg the Leg on your team, it doesn't matter.
What's amazing is, I always look at kickers, hey, you got one job, you do your job. But evidently they asked him during the game, hey, what do you feel like? What do you feel like? Do you feel 56? Do you feel 61? So when they got there, they didn't even hesitate. We over here screaming, hey, man, run another play. You call him Greg the Leg, I just call him a kicker. He made it, and I'm happy.
He definitely made that kick. That was a heck of a clutch kick right there. But it made me a little nervous because I thought they could have at least got, one more play in there. Boom, clocked the timeout with at least 3 to 4 seconds left. Made it a little bit closer. But like you guys said, Greg the Leg came through. But special teams, a little bit rocky so far to start of this season. That block, or not that block punt, but that roughing the punter penalty could have been extremely costly for these Dallas Cowboys. So Coach Fossil, he has to clean some things up with this special team because we don't want them costing us a game.
There's some big things the Cowboys need to clean up. Sure, they got the win, but there are a lot of positives and negatives, I think, on both sides of the football. One of which that was a positive was Dak Prescott in the play of QB1, of course, returning from injury. And now in week 2 of the NFL season, he only had a total of 4 incompletions. We're going to hear from him when we come back on the other side of the break when we return on Cowboys OT. 23 of 27, 237 yards, no touchdowns for Dak Prescott, but he gets the win 20-17 over the Los Angeles Chargers. Cowboys OT here from the Globe Life Studios at the Star. Let's hear from QB1 after the win.
Walk us through the final drive, your approach, anything you said to the team, and then also I guess you had some clock issues, so it's difficult to see how much time was left there right at the end on that third down.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about all week long, wanting to finish each drive, wanting to finish the game, wanting to necessarily take it out of the defense's hand. Obviously, going back to last week, we could have finished in the red zone with the touchdowns, and we could have finished that game last week with the touchdown, right? Not settling for a field goal. So we put that on us this week and got the chance to go out there and do that with, 3 minutes or so or something like that on the clock. And so it was just important just to relay that message, you know what I mean, and bring the guys back up and focus in on that, and we did. And then just that back end, I wasn't sure. I'm looking at the end zone clock, so I saw the time. I just thought that we're comfortable and we're good in field goal range, and so that's what they wanted to do. And then obviously we had a conversation after about, the whole clock getting turned off.
The TV cameras got like you and Kellen at the very end as the kick was going through. You guys were kind of embracing. Just what was going through your mind during that, 3 or 4 seconds?
Yeah, as he kicked it, I was over there talking to Amari, checking on Amari, somewhat kind of just trying to get my mind off of it, I guess. Obviously, knowing in a situation like that, you trust your teams and Greg Zuerlein to put it through. But yeah, it was great. Obviously, believing in him making, he went and did that, and it was just a relief, right? The first win of many, and the first one's usually the hardest, and it was.
What are those feelings like when you come out on that last drive, and how much did you miss that when you're out?
Yeah, that's what you do it for the ball in your hands, for a chance to go win it. That's why I was talking to the offense, telling them that. We talked about it all week long, and now we've got the game in a position that we want it. So it's on us to go capitalize and go finish this game off, and we're able to get it in field goal range and let special teams go out there and do their job.
Y'all talked all week about how even though last week was pass heavy, you're still going to have to run different game plans every week. How did you show that today, and how did Kellen help y'all win this game?
Yeah, we didn't throw it 50 times. I think we're a whole lot more balanced. And Kellen did a great job just mixing it up. And us as players, we've got to convert on some of those third downs. He still put us in great position, called great plays. Took a sack. I feel like I could have got the ball out there in the third quarter. Just different times, but he's dialing them up right now. He's doing a great job, different personnels, run, pass, play action. And he's putting us in great position to make great plays, and we've just got to continue to execute and get better.
Talked a lot about complementary football this offseason. This is like the first time going back to 2017 you won a game without scoring 30 points. Is this an example of what you're talking about and what you want the identity of this team to be?
Yeah, for sure. As I said last week, right, we're going to have to go out there and have to score a bunch to win some games, and then there's going to be some games like this one. And I think it showed tonight. Defense did a great job. Turnovers, big turnover down there in the red zone when it was needed. And then we were able to come back out, go get 3. It's just important to play off of one another. When one team makes a big play, the other unit has to come on there and do a good job of picking up their back and picking up and taking advantage of them making that big play, right? And so that's what complementary football is about. That's how you win games. That's how you become a championship team and be the team that we want to be.
Dak, going back to the impact you had as a rookie, can you even quantify the impact you're seeing Micah Parsons have right now?
Yeah, rookie year was – it was 6 years ago. So, knowing what that meant, Mike is a great player. And just the fact of them being able to move him around, him off the edge, him at linebacker and inside, wherever you put him, he's a special guy, and he's going to make plays. He's fast. You saw him getting around the edge, recovering on 10 sometimes, and Justin's a fast guy as well. So for him to be able to do that just shows the speed he has and just the acceleration. And as I said back in the spring, we're lucky to have him.
Dak was really adamant about giving the credit where credit is due in terms of the receivers and the weapons that he had on the offensive side of the football, and also offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, who had a great game play calling today. Gentlemen, when you look at this offense and kind of the potential that they have, I think you got a glimpse of that today and what they could be in 2021.
Absolutely, and I'm going to read a couple stats off to you. 88% completion rate, 60% on third down conversions, and less than 2 turnovers. That's a heck of a recipe if you guys are trying to make a recipe for a W, and that's exactly what those guys went out there and did today.
Especially when you're going on the road. When you go on the road, you need to have those type numbers, man. And Dak, that's the guy that I know today. He got it to his playmakers. He made the right plays. I would like to say he had the one overthrow. But other than that right there, man, Dak was Dak today.
Yeah, it's all about adaptability. And we saw that from this offense. The first game, you had to go out there, you had to throw it a lot. This game, you had to run it a lot to get the job done. And those are the teams, the winning teams, that are able to do that. Go out there and make these adjustments, make the halftime adjustments, do what you got to do to put your offense and defense in a winning position. That's what Coach Kellen Moore, that's what Coach Quinn have been doing so far this season. And look, this team, I mean, they might be able to do some damage here in the East.
23 completions for Dak Prescott. 7 different players caught a pass. By the way, all 7 of those guys actually caught multiple passes. That's called spreading the love. Overall, the leading receiver was CeeDee Lamb, 8 receptions for 81 yards. And once again, no passing touchdown for Dak today, but complimentary football is something that the Cowboys have been waiting for quite some time. They got it today. 20-17, a win over the Chargers. When we come back, we'll hear from the rookie Micah Parsons and what he had to say after the win.
What a win. I mean, can you just go through that? I mean, you guys so close last week, and then to come back, play pretty much the same type of game, and this time get it. This is kind of the way the NFL is, huh?
Yeah, it feels so good to win. It feels so good to win. We went out there, competed, held up in the red zone a lot. You know, leaving them to 3 points, you know, not any touchdowns and stuff like that. So, you know, we were just holding up and, you know, feel good to win.
You faced a lot of great receivers, one of them being your older brother your whole life. How good was Keenan Allen as far as, you know, he's such a great route runner?
Yeah, he is a good wide receiver, like real good routes, you know, good tempo with his routes and stuff like that. You know, it was a good competition today. You know, I enjoyed it, and yeah.
It looked like you did travel with him a lot. Maybe not every time, but
no, I traveled with him every time. But yeah, sometimes we was in zone, so I couldn't really, you know, get right there. But you know, I was following the whole game.
And then to go back to your interception, I mean, like, you know, there's always a knock on. Well, corners aren't you're supposed to have great hands. Like, you're ending that trend, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to. You know, working on my hands every day. You know, just trying to be around the ball as much as I can, get my hands as many balls as I can, make sure I catch it. So, you know, you get more interceptions, get turnovers, you know, lead off on the team, and everybody get interceptions and turnovers.
Was that a road game?
Which one?
Was this one right here?
It was home. That was home. That was our home game.
It almost had like a college atmosphere, similar to a bowl game, as far as back and forth. Just talk about the intensity of the crowd and kind of, you know, both teams were feeding off of it.
Definitely. We really missed that last year. We got that this year. You know, the crowd, really need the crowd. And, you know, it's great. Our fans are great. You know, they travel, you know, come and see us play, and we needed them a lot.
No Gregory, no Donovan Wilson, no Tank. You guys figured out ways to do it. Micah Parsons rushing here and all that. You guys and Jaron Curse coming in. Just what does it speak for the
Defense forces a couple turnovers and a couple sacks of second-year quarterback Justin Herbert in the 20-17 win over the Los Angeles Chargers. One of those sacks belonged to rookie Micah Parsons, who played a little bit more defensive end than linebacker as he's used to in his rookie season. Here's his thoughts after the win.
Can you start by talking about how different your role was in preparation from like Thursday on based on what it was Wednesday in practice?
After Wednesday, obviously learning to play linebacker. After practice, you know, Coach Q came to me and was like, man, we're going to need you to step up big for us this week. You know, and instantly I just said, all right, Coach, like, let's play. You know what I mean? You know, after sitting out a year, I ain't going to deny the opportunity to get on the field. So I knew my most snaps could come from me rushing the passer today, and I just took it head on from Thursday to today. Prepared to be able to play at a high level.
Last time you played that much end?
High school.
Was it natural, or did you come back, or was there some rough moments for you?
I mean, a lot of it was natural. I mean, some people had a long day out there.
What was the best part of making that switch over?
The best part is really just reason why I say they drafted me. I mean, I'm just showing different versatilities what I can do. And I think, you know, after today, we can open the playbook even more. I mean, I think my teammates and Coach Q put an unbelievable amount of faith in me, and it just keeps building my confidence up to realize I could do much more than what I thought I could do.
You look forward to moving around throughout the season? You look forward to moving around throughout the season?
Of course, you know, manipulating matchups and taking advantage of the, you know, matchups we got out there. I think that's what makes good football teams great.
Can you talk a little bit about the sack of Herbert when you pushed him all the way back to the 30, that play and how it developed?
They did a post play where the guard pulled. Once I read out a run, I was able to beat the guard and do heavy pursuit. I mean, I was chasing him all day. I really wanted Herbert, and I finally got to him. So, I was happy about that.
Micah, your simple reaction to getting your first career win?
That's because, I think we should have won last week, and, I feel like we supposed to win. You know what I mean? I don't know any team out there that prepares more than, Coach Mike and Coach Q prepares us. And, our expectation is to win. So, the first one's good, but it's a long way to go.
Mike, are there different mindsets that you have when you're playing Mike linebacker as opposed to when you're full-time hand on the ground?
No, my main mindset is to be dominant throughout the whole game and, play at a high level. And every time I'm out there, make a play. So whether I'm rushing a quarterback or stuffing a run, that's what I want to do, be dominant as possible.
The way that, pass rushers rotate during the course of a game, is that frustrating at all that they were giving you series off and things like that?
Yeah, just as a competitor, I hate coming off, you know what I mean? So when I'm coming off, I'm like, damn, why am I coming off? Like, I feel like I'm just warming up, you know what I mean? Like, I said something to Coach J, I said, man, next week I'm going to have to get some linebacker when I'm not there. Let me go to the rush. Like, I just want to do it all. And I'm just embracing everything they throwing at me because the more I could get on the field, the more I could play. And I feel like the more I could help this team win.
Micah, what does your necklace say and what's the story behind it?
Versace. My freshman year of high school, I was singing Drake, Versace, Versace, Versace. And, man, it's like, oh, that's Click. Oh, Sachi, that's your nickname. And it clicked since high school, so all my homeboys call me Sachi. It's my alter ego.
And here it looked a little like sax, so I just wanted to make sure.
You're talking to about wanting what this defense could do this year. This is the first time Dallas has won a game when the offense didn't score 30 points, going back to like December of 2018. Does this kind of send a signal what this defense you think it can be this year and how you're kind of changing how it's viewed?
I mean, yeah, we ain't the same. I don't think, there's a whole bunch of new guys on this team that we got this offseason. This is a brand new defense in 2021. We ain't that 2017, 2018, or even last year. We a new year Dallas Cowboys, so we don't even worry about that. We worry about what we're going to do now.
Micah, how much pride does this defense take in getting takeaways, and what did the two mean today?
We emphasize it every day. Ball, ball, ball. When we in practice, Coach emphasizes punching the ball. When we touch our hands, we do ball drills every day. They always talk about capitalizing when the ball's in our favor and it's there. We got to capitalize every time. So we emphasize every day. And so far this year, when the ball touched our hands, we've been able to take it away, or whether it's a fumble or anything like that, we've been able to grab it. So we just got to keep working at the daily habits.
The Cowboys defense was missing 3 of their week 1 starters going into this week 2 matchup with the Chargers. No Donovan Wilson, no DeMarcus Lawrence, and no Randy Gregory. A couple different guys had to play different roles, including Micah Parsons playing as a defensive end. But Isaiah, it was really Dan Quinn as the defensive coordinator that really had to get creative.
Yeah, but that's what we know about Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is versatile in his offerings, and that's why he has the personnel that he has on his team. Those guys did a heck of a job of bringing talent in this offseason, mixing veterans, young guys. This was the reason why I was not too concerned with Gregory and D-Law being out. I knew that we would miss those guys' presence in terms of their ability to make plays, but I knew that we had other guys on this team, and the culture really dictates the fact that these guys were never going to be in question in terms of their effort and their ability to go out there and give it their all.
I was shocked that you were hours before the game, hey, man, Micah Parsons is going to play a lot of defensive end. And we debated earlier about that right there. Oh, man, he's just throwing something out there. He played a lot of defensive end. Jalen came to play today. Leighton came to play. The rest of the guys, Neil, they came to play, man. And young Parsons just a ball of fire right now. So just keep running, son.
Yeah, he's a ball of fire. I'm about to start calling him a positionless defensive weapon. The first time we went out there in Tampa Bay, he needed to lock those guys up. He did that. This time, put him on the edge, chase down Herbert. He was able to get that and a sack. Glad he's a part of this Cowboys unit.
There were a lot of guys defensively that had to make plays and had to play different roles than they're used to, but they were able to get the job done as the Cowboys win it 20-17 over the Chargers. Barry's game ball has already been handed out. It's Tony Pollard who receives it here in week 2. We'll hear from the tailback when we return with more Cowboys OT.
Can you just talk? So many people are asking about the run-pass ratio going into this game. You certainly ran it a lot today. Just what the run game did for this team today in this win.
It's the mentality of their defense just kind of make you slowly move it down the field, make you grind it out, and so that gave us the opportunity to run the football. The O-line did a hell of a job. I mean, they were moving those guys off the ball all day. They set the tone.
What difference does having Zach Martin back do for your rushing offense?
It helps that much more. He's all-pro every year he's played. Maybe not last year, but he's definitely the rock of that O-line. In the run game, he's smashing guys.
The last couple of years, you've really had to outscore people to get wins. What does it mean to see your defense perform like the way they did today?
I'm excited for them. I'm really excited for them. Just the passion they play with, the enthusiasm, the way they run around, the way they hit, the way they take the ball away. I'm excited. I'm excited for what they can become.
What about you and Parsons, your tandem, and the great game he had today?
Pollard.
Pollard. Oh man, TP he ran his tail off today. He definitely he's a great back. All around, can catch it, can run it. He's smaller, but he runs hard. He breaks a lot of tackles. So he had a hell of a day. I'm proud of him. I'm glad he went out there.
In the words of Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard ran his tail off today, and he certainly did so. Zeke had a touchdown of his own, but Tony Pollard, 109 yards and a touchdown. He was an X factor in the Cowboys' 20-17 win over the Los Angeles Chargers. Here's what Pollard had to say after the game.
All right, Tony, just talk about how exciting that game was, just kind of the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, and you guys getting the win. How excited is it?
It was big. It was big for the team, having a tough game like that, a close one, back and forth, momentum just swinging. It's big for the offense to come out, finish the game with the game-winning field goal and just come out with the dub.
Is this the biggest that you've been a part of a game plan in a while, maybe since college? It felt like you and Z kind of really were 50-50 on those carries.
Yeah, we just wanted to go with who was hot, we both feed off each other. So if he was hot, we would have just went that way, but, it just turned out that way for this game, and we got the dub.
There's a lot of talk about who's playing more, who should get more. You and Zeke have no controversy at all. Or you guys love to have the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, we're good. As long as we're getting W's, winning, everything's fine.
Did you feel like you guys were able to kind of you were kind of going a lot on the outside, had a few inside, you were mixing it up. Kellen did a nice job of kind of getting you guys doing different spots.
Yeah, he did a great job, play calling, calling the plays for this week, especially after the game we had last week, with an explosive offense, we were able to display, show that we can move the ball up and down the field. He did a good job of switching it up, but just keeping the same energy.
How have you been able to stay patient with knowing you can do more, be big part of the offense, but also not trying to rock the boat anyway, just know that the touches will come?
I've been doing this my whole life. Been the underdog my whole life, been overlooked, so I'm used to it. So I'm used to grinding and working for everything I have. So it comes natural to me.
You have more guys out of this game than I probably can count on one hand, with Tank and Gregory and Donovan Wilson and Gallup, and you guys were able to come in here and get this win. How big is it knowing that you guys are going to get your better players coming back too?
It's just big, us coming out getting this team win with a lot of our big time players, our big time dogs not on the field. So it's big, it just shows the team that we all can do this. We all we have.
Are you one of those big time players though?
You can say that.
One more. Dak, down the stretch, he was like not in a hurry at all. You guys have complete confidence that you're going to get in field goal range, and then Zerline's going to make the kick.
Yeah, we practice that all the time. I couldn't even tell you how much we practice this on a weekly basis. It's over and over. So we're kind of used to it. It's second nature once we get out there on the field for game day.
Awesome. Congratulations.
You got to love how Tony Pollard really embraces that underdog mentality. There were a couple underdogs that showed out today for the Cowboys, Pollard being one of them, Terrence Steele being the other, going up against Joey Bosa and really limiting what the three-time All-Pro was doing off the edge. But which one really stood out to you more, not even just out of those two, but throughout the 2017 win?
I think that Terrence Steele gave us the opportunity to have the big plays that Pollard was able to go out there and make. Terrence Steele took on this challenge, as I mentioned earlier, but I'm going to pass it off to Nate Dogg because he knows a lot more about the O-line than I do.
We got a rule you don't hear my name, I must have played a good game. And I ain't saying Steele played the greatest game because I got to look at the film. But, you know, they gave him a little help when needed be, and he did it from a lot of times. He danced, man. He danced with a cobra out there, man, that was quicker. And when he strike, he like poison, man. And he handled his game, man. He was the anti-whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He was it.
Well, look, I'm going to take a page out of your book, Nate. Let me tell you something, all right? Steele went out there, and you know who got my game ball? Steele. Pollard, he showed the juice, he showed the quickness, he was in and out of his cuts, he played a great game, but Steele, he had to go against one of the all-pros in this league, in Joey Bosa, and he was able to hold his own. He put them paws on him, gave Dak Prescott time to throw the ball, opened up some lanes for Pollard and Zeke. Hats goes off to my boy Steele.
Yeah, Steele had a nice game, but another thing I think that was a positive for that Cowboys offensive line, it looked like vintage Zach Martin and Tyron Smith. Both of those guys had a lot of success, paving the way for guys like Pollard and Zeke to both have good games and, of course, give time for Dak Prescott to throw the ball. When we come back, we're going to tie a bow on this 20-17 win. The Cowboys get win number 1 of the 2021 campaign with more Cowboys OT.
What about, it's like 2 weeks in a row now. These games keep coming down to the end. That's kind of the way the football is. Take us through the mindset of their drive. Your team's driving, and you know you're probably going to get a chance to kick a long one there.
Yeah, that's football. I don't think you're ever really out of it. And so when they have the ball, you're just trying to stay warm into the net because you never know what's going to happen. And we got the ball back, and I've been in situations in the past, you're like, okay, you might get a chance here. And so just stay warm into the net and wait.
Do you put it in your mind that it doesn't matter what? You're always going to probably get a field goal, even though they could go get a touchdown, but you're just thinking, I've got to get ready for a field goal here at all times.
Yep. The mindset is always, for me as a kicker, that it's going to be a field goal. I don't ever plan on scoring a touchdown, which ideally that's what happens, great. But, you're always thinking that it's on you.
I think your first kick, maybe with the Cowboys last year, was here, and it was a long one too.
Mm-hmm.
When you're getting these 50-plus ones, what's the mindset there? What are you thinking? Is it any different than an extra point or a 25-yarder?
Nope, it's always the same. You have the same swing in a PAT as you do on a long one, and so that's the mentality. You just go out there, and really you try not to think about what distance is it from. You just pick your spot and go from there.
Is it kicking kind of like golf where you can kind of self-correct?
Cowboys OT was brought to you by Geico, 85 years of savings and service. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
20-17, the Cowboys on top of the Los Angeles Chargers as they improve to 1-1 on the 2021 season and into a tie atop the NFC East with both the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington football team over 400 yards from both sides, but the Cowboys win it late with a 56-yard Greg Zuerlein field goal as we wrap things up here on Cowboys OT. Kyle Yeoman's with you alongside Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. And gentlemen, things get tough because the NFC is up, or the NFC East, I should say, is up on the docket next with the Eagles. But what's the biggest thing the Cowboys need to fix?
I think, being able to go back, watch the film, acknowledge the opportunities that they missed. That's the thing about football. When you miss opportunities, you don't get them back. Now, you might have other opportunities that present themselves, but you have to go back and evaluate what you could have done better so that the next time you face those scenarios, you don't make those same mistakes.
There was 8 penalties for 76 yards. You cannot have that. You want to stay below 50, around about 45. You're going to have some freaky plays during the game, but you can't give up them many yards.
I'm going to stick on the defensive side of the ball. Look, they did a great job taking the ball away, kind of doing that bend but don't break type of defense. But they got to understand who they're going against. They let Keenan Allen do too much in this game. He's their main threat, their main player. You're going to go against teams with threats at receiver, threats at running back. You need to know where they are at all times. That could have been an opportunity for them to break the game wide open. You got to know where your personnel is at all times. But hats goes off to the defense. They did play a good game.
One of the biggest storylines going into this matchup with the Chargers was missing 5 different starters out of the 22 total because of different various reasons. Now, most of those guys will not return going into next week. Randy Gregory certainly looks like he will be available on Monday. But for those of you who have played in the league before, unlike myself, how important is that extra day going into Monday Night Football?
I mean, it's an extra day. I mean, you get your legs back for the guys that were just on the field. I mean, you use that for film study, you use that to get your, be with your family, do whatever else you need to do, but you use that as an opportunity to get your mind right for the now in the NFC East competition.
For the young guys, man, get into the whirlpool, get yourself healed up, because that's what you'll learn is these guys are not in there. You're going to be playing more and more snaps, and so when you wake up tomorrow, you'll find that you'll have some new bruises that you're not used to.
Yeah, it's all about recovery. I mean, you get that extra day to get that extra steam room, to get that extra sauna, get that extra ice tub. Because like you said, the younger you are, you're able to bounce back quicker. But the veterans in this game, they understand that they need to be able to get that recovery. And that extra day, that extra 24 hours will definitely provide it heading into this Eagles matchup.
And the Cowboys, of course, with an opportunity to maybe take an extra lead in the division. But how important is getting that first win? Because I think all of us can say the first one's the hardest to get out of the way. Now that you're 1-1, does it take a chip off your shoulder, Isaiah?
Yeah, it gets a chip off your shoulder, but you need to put another one back on because there's going to be other opponents that show up. Matter of fact, 15 more.
Yeah, got a lot more games to go with. But, Isaiah, the Cowboys did get that first one out of the way. It was in nerve-wracking fashion late, but 20-17 was the final score as the Cowboys take down the Los Angeles Chargers. Both teams now at 1-1, and the Cowboys, like I mentioned, will take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home. Home opener at AT&T Stadium coming up Monday Night Football on ESPN. For Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton, and Barry Church, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long from the Star in Frisco. That's it for Cowboys OT.